Welcome to Jobbed Out, the wrestling editorial that reminds you never trust a New Year's baby. Happy New Year, everybody. It's January 1st. You know what that means. Time for resolutions, for self-reflection, and for football! Now don't worry, wrestling fans, we're not straying too far from the norm here. I've talked about this one before, but there is no better time to rehash this little gem in history than today, because today in wrestling history, January 1st, 1996, the WWE presents the Raw Bowl. Let's take a look. Fresh off one of the worst years in wrestling history, with talent leaving for WCW in droves, and in need of a creative gimmick to get the attention of wrestling fans and non-fans alike, this taped edition of Monday Night Raw was replaced with the Lipton Brisk Iced Tea Raw Bowl. Not to be confused with the Diva Bowl in 2009. You know what, maybe I'll talk about that one in October. The Raw Bowl was WWE's attempt to take advantage of the big football blitz that takes place every December and January, and of course bring in new fans with football season itself winding down. They went all out for this one. They brought out a marching band to give it that NCAA feel. They changed the canvas to emulate a field. They even upped the dad joke quota with horrible wordplay on commentary.
Yes, a couple of first-round draft picks if they're everywhere. Hey! Oh no! That's a personal foul! Unnecessary roughness! What's he doing? Up with a goal post in! Oh, that body's there! Maybe not with an opportunity to score! 1, 2...
They changed up the rules for the big match. They even had their superstars wearing football jerseys instead of their traditional gear. The Raw Bowl was an experiment, the same way the XFL was an experiment, or the World Bodybuilding Federation was an experiment, or the Brawl for All was an experiment. It was a big gamble at a time where everything they touched just seemed to fail. The episode itself consisted of a 9-second match between Diesel and Mabel, some filler vignettes in the back, a replay of Henry Godwinn humiliating Triple H in the hog pen match, and the 4-corner elimination tag with the winners getting the Lombardi trophy. No, not that one, but the Steve Lombardi trophy. The teams involved consisted of Owen Hart and Yokozuna, the Kid and Sid Connection, no, that's not their names, but I mean, come on, right? Razor Ramon and Savio Vega, and the Smoking Guns. God, I was such a huge fan of Billy and Bart as a kid. Although, I admit, I was a Bart fan more than a Billy one. Oh god, maybe I'll have to talk about the Brawl for All soon too. There were a few things meant to make this match different from the standard elimination tag. You know, to make it more football-y. Teams were allowed to call one timeout each, in theory. If the same team was tagged in to square against each other, they had to make physical contact before tagging out. The collar and elbow tie-up was scrapped for a 3-point stance, and the match was fine. I mean, forgettable, but fine. Which is pretty much the story of 95 and early 96. It had nothing to do with storylines, it was never going to be done again anyway, it just served to do what Vince McMahon always does when times are low, take shots at the competition. Problem is, Vince thinks the competition is the NFL. And just like WrestleMania 8, the whole thing was building up to make one singular joke. That joke? Boy, NFL's referees are incompetent! And that's why the center focus of this match was the timeout rule. This was Chekhov's gun. In the middle of the match, Razor Ramon had the 1-2-3 Kid ready for a finish, and the Kid called a timeout to prevent being beaten. This led to some outside interference, and a moment for Psycho Sid to knock out Razor and eliminate him. The timeout rule never came into play again. Savio couldn't call one, Yoko couldn't call one, it served its purpose. Oh, you incompetent referees. You sure showed them, Vince. The match ended with the Smoking Guns taking the win.
Touchdown! 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 I can't believe it, man! No fair!
And it probably should have been that way, considering they were the tag champs at the time. But this was a nothing match that, for some reason, opened the show instead of main eventing it. I mean, it's not like you named the whole episode after it. It was fun for me as a fan, though. A nice little experiment that didn't cost them much, so what was the harm? And that seems to be the biggest difference between the Hurtin' New Gen era and the Hurtin' Modern era. The E is terrified to try new things these days. They always would rely on the safe option, which is usually Roman Reigns good, Baron Corbin bad, Brock smash. Then they wash their hands, point to the sweet Saudi money, and say, yeah, things turned out fine. The Raw Bowl, the Brawl for All, the Inferno match, the Kennel from Hell, Hell in a Cell, Elimination Chamber, Royal Rumble. The experiment doesn't always pan out, but when it does, it's a huge spark for business. The Raw Bowl was not one of them, but I still look back at it fondly, maybe because it was such a rushed crapshoot that we got to see some weird stuff, like Yoko killing his partner. Bad choice of words. Okay, how about the tag champs going up against each other? You know, before the Outlaw Rule was a thing.
Wait a minute! What if the match is over?
Damn, Billy Gunn was a clever dude, eh? So if you want to watch the Raw Bowl for yourself, it's available on the WWE Network, but also you can find the entire episode on Daily Motion. Links in the description. So what do you think of this attempt at merging football and wrestling together? Do you think they should do a second one? Or is the past better left off in the past? Let me know what you think in the comments section. For now though, I'd better get my shoulders off the mat, so thank you for tuning in to Jobbed Out. I'll catch you next time.